Ladies and gents, we're going to head into game 1 between Apocalypse and Puma. Let's go and check it out. It's going to be on bel'shir Beach, not Winter. Unfortunate, but you know, Puma has not been having a good run here at the NASL.
Well,
NASTL, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I said that wrong.
I was just wondering, like, I was like, wait a second, am I casting the wrong league? Did I mix something up, or?
Okay, besides the $80,000 that he was able to pick up, he has not been doing well.
Okay, if we disregard the 80,000, then you are right. In the NASTL, he actually had a little bit of a rough patch the last few weeks, and well, he might be able to change it. He's up in a Terran versus Terran. It's the first game between Evil Geniuses and Quantic today. We are, as you already said, on bel'shir Beach. It's the summer edition, and we have a TVT. Apocalypse is one of the Korean players that Quantic added to their lineup just recently within the last few weeks, and I actually don't know much about Apocalypse when it comes down to his TVT. He played a game against the Muslim that he won at the IGN Pro League Team Arena in February, but besides those stats I have of him, I really don't know much about him. Can you shed some light on him, or is he some kind of an unknown player to you as well when it comes down to his mirror match abilities?
I saw a little bit of him in the qualifiers. I don't think not enough to actually conclude anything for sure. But through those games, I did see just regular standard play, Marine tank, that kind of thing. He doesn't go for the mech play, or at least he didn't over there. So I'm interested to see how he does against Puma, because I know Puma does favor the Marine tank. So a lot of times when you have Marine tank against Marine tank, it makes a really nice positional wars and a lot of mobility, a lot of drops going down all over the place. And it comes down to who is well prepared for those drops and who can cope better with the positional wars that you have so often with Tank Marine against Tank Marine.
It definitely is, and Puma is just a very, very accomplished TVT player. It's one of his best matchups. He has a 64% win ratio in the mirror match, and we have him with gas. He's getting gas, while Apocalypse, on the other hand, is just going for some kind of gasless build. We are probably going to see Command Center very, very soon. One barracks into expansion. That's exactly what we are waiting for, and there it is, the Command Center being built by Apocalypse, while Puma now with one gas is just building his factory. He's not adding the second refinery just yet. Let's see if he's going to add one soon. Then we could obviously suspect a Banshee play, but for now it's just one refinery, and for Apocalypse, as mentioned, the expansion play.
Yep. We'll see how this actually plays out. It does look like for now, well, obviously Reactor Hellion for Puma, so that's going to give him a lot of mobility in this early game stage, but can sometimes be hard countered. The main thing that you give up when you're doing a build like this is you empower Banshees, because you don't have those Marines on the ground. Vikings do take a little bit long to actually produce. Not only that, if Cloak Banshees come out, they can always cloak, and you can't rely on just one scan to kill the Banshee, not having that Marine support. So that's definitely a big problem. But other than the Banshees, which is not what we see coming out from Apocalypse, this will take very good map control. It'll just solidify his position so that he can just play a very reactive style, whereas Apocalypse really can't react. He has to play against everything. And that will, in turn, make his build a lot more inefficient, just because he has to defend against a multitude of builds that could be coming out from Puma.
And he's playing it safe. He is not trying too many corners. He's throwing down a couple of barracks as soon as the first one finished and his command center was in production. We have double gas for him nonetheless. He's already producing the engineering bay. He has to defend against a lot of potential play. That's exactly what you just mentioned. And the engineering bay is not only one step in order to get those upgrades a little bit faster, but at the same time it also enables him to get the vision if need be, to get detection if there's going to be some kind of Banshee play by his opponent, which is not the case up to now. Puma is just building his own base. He finished the starport and is now switching with no, he's actually not switching with the starport and the barracks, but decides to do so with a factory. So we have now once again Marine production, and he is going for the Blue Flame Hellions.
Yeah, and Puma does give a little scan there, sees exactly what his opponent is going. sees the expansion on top of that, also checks out a little bit of the barracks count, so he does see that one of them does not have a reactor or a tech lab going down on it, so it does imply that there is a little bit of gas being saved up. It could go to something like upgrades or to something like tech. He just doesn't know at this point, but the Hellions will give him a little bit of an indication what his opponent is going. You can see that the army composition doesn't have a lot of gas into it, so this whole time Puma's asking himself, where the hell is all your gas, man? I know you have a little bit of stocked up. You can see that he's actually getting a lot more gas than he should be, and there it goes down the factory, but he's going pretty heavy on upgrades, and Puma should sort of know where he's at right now. He knows that he cannot be ahead in terms of those stim, the combat shields to his opponent, so it does mean a little more of a passive play in this beginning stage. Look at that second factory. We're going to see mech out of Puma.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, and we are going to see a Blue Flame Hellion drop into the main base of Apocalypse as well. The Medivac is just completed, and he is already loading in the...
Oop, cut out there, Khaldor. But yeah, he's already loaded the 3 Hellions in here. Now 3 is the perfect amount for the Blue Flame Hellions to actually kill SCVs. So this will help out quite a bit. You can see Apocalypse doesn't really have anything to defend over here. So the main will be under very heavy fire. He has no spotters to actually check this out. Now let's go ahead and see how Apocalypse actually deals with this. First 3 Hellions will be dropped. The SCVs are not moved. There they go finally. You get 1 SCV, but it looks like a couple SCVs, 3 SCVs in total. Not the type of trade that you want, but it isn't ended. It hasn't ended just yet. Stim goes off. I don't agree with that. Ouch. That's a lot of damage being done to himself. Apocalypse also doesn't have a lot of position on his opponent, but you can see, you know, he's just losing a little bit here and there. He's down to 33 harvesters over his opponent's 41. So in terms of harvesters, Puma's looking just so far ahead of his opponent. I'm starting to think that the command center first wasn't really worth it. I'm glad to have you back, Khaldor.
Yeah, the command center first for a couple of definitely didn't pay off for him, did it? Puma is now ahead in economy, and he is also ahead in tech. He's already going for the siege tanks with the siege mode. He has the Vikings out, and still those Hellions, those Blue Flame Hellions in the Medivac at the right side of the map. So as soon as he tries to put a little bit of pressure onto the main entrance of Apocalypse base, he can just drop in the back one again and try to take out his opponent's SCV line.
Yeah, and that's basically what you have to do when you're going mech. It's saying, don't take map control. For a while, I have map control just because I'm threatening a lot of these Blue Flame Hellion drops. Apocalypse is not playing correct. He's trying to push out at this point. There's a big scan that goes down in the natural, and that might actually give a little bit of cue to push out here with this this one Medivac and try to do a little bit of damage. But no, Apocalypse is going to move out a couple units in the back there, and he's pushing out as we speak.
Yeah, he has 1 Marauder and a couple of Marines in the back that can defend against the Blue Flame Hellions once they get dropped again. So far we have Puma realizing that Apocalypse is trying to get a little bit more aggressive. The drop is heading straight for the main base once again, and Puma will be able to take down SCVs. He's trying to run past his opponent's Marines, and he's able to kill quite a few SCVs regardless of the units that are defending right now.
Uh-oh. And the Medivac is being chased, but here we go. Another run by with those Hellions are not going to do any damage. In the meantime, those Marines and Marauders are loading up and going for a drop, catching Puma off guard a little bit here. He doesn't have any tanks in position, so he does not want to be trading right here. But there it goes. Siege tanks are going to start up here, and those Vikings are going to eliminate those Medivacs, making it impossible for Apocalypse to retreat in this attack.
Exactly, but he might be able to kill some of the SCVs. He's now getting into position, taking down one of the supply depots already, and, well, the mineral line, all the SCVs for Puma, they are retreating, and the Medivac is finally being taken down. Once again, the siege tanks trying to siege up, get into position, and still nice. That was a nice double shot.
And obviously the Marines and Marauders cleaned up over there. Let's go ahead and check the income tab and see if that was worth it. 51 to 42. So Puma still ahead marginally with that SCV count. Let's look at the Army tab. They're just about even. So it does help out actually Puma a little bit more. because Puma, if he's even in that army tab, he's able to deal with Marines and Marauders. You need to invest a little bit more in Marines and Marauders to have them a lot more relevant. That way they can play that type of movement game where you need to commit a lot in back. But from here, Puma, look at this, he's just going to push out, and I like this push out. Noticing that he's been really efficient in killing a lot of SCVs. He's going to take advantage of this, and now hopefully cover some ground and have a very successful
timing for it as well. He's pushing out as soon as his opponent starts taking his third base, so if he gets in a good position, he will be able to put pressure onto the third base of Apocalypse as well, and this is going to be tough for the player for Quantic Gaming. He's on 1-1 upgrades though for his bio army, is getting the concussive shells now and about to finish siege mode. This third base has been spotted, and now Puma is sieging forward slowly but steadily, trying to take down the medivacs of his opponent. Most of the Vikings are gone though. Here comes Apocalypse trying to get into position to take down the tanks, and he's able to clear the whole army of Puma, killing every single tank.
Killer move right there, and no Hellion support results in that type of attack, or I guess defense. Apocalypse was able to take that out very easily. You need Hellion support there because you saw all those Marines and Marauders, but a lot of Marines in that. You can see the army composition, a lot of damaged Marines. They get cleaned up by Blue Flame Hellions. If you don't have enough Blue Flame Hellions out in the field, you're not tanking enough damage with those Hellions. That means the tanks are the one taking all the damage, and that's your main DPS. So quite unfortunate. And of course, Hellions are good at dealing with Marines. So really, really kind of a crappy start right there. And Puma, just like that, gives back his advantage. I would say that they're kind of even at this point, but with the extra third, which is standard. Normally the Marine Marauder Terran will get the command center first, the third command center first. You know, they're still pretty even though, just because Puma, with all that advantage he had in the beginning stage, he just threw away a lot of units, and that was his main advantage.
I like the upgrades for Apocalypse. He's getting +2/+2 already, while Puma is researching now +1 attack for his forces. And once again, trying to snipe the medivacs, but Apocalypse is on top of it. He's immediately separating a small troop of Marines in order to take down the Vikings, and Puma has to be careful. They are still on the same amount of supply. A small lead in Harvester still for Puma. He has the third base. He doesn't have it in position just yet, but at least he can use the mule. And there are some Blue Flame Hellions headed for the third base of Apocalypse. There is nothing to defend, and most of those SCVs are going to die. If microed well, then maybe, yes, all of them are lining up perfectly, and Apocalypse is losing every single one of them.
Well done, Puma, and that's what he needed. Definitely to retain that advantage. You can see the siege tanks are pushing up ever so slowly just to cover this gold expansion. Now the gold expansion is nerfed a little bit. You can see only one gas on here, and you know, only 5 mineral patches. Normally we do see 6 mineral patches for gold expansions, but nevertheless, Puma will yield a lot from that. This is not the upgrade patch version, so the mules still do mine a lot. They still do mine the extra 1.5.
Yeah, exactly. This is helping his income quite a bit, and he has such a strong army by now. 10 siege tanks against 2, 9 Vikings against 6, so he's dominating the air battle as well. Apocalypse is in for a tough fight.
Yeah, where does he actually attack from here? I think what he wants to do is have his army over in the top right, but because Puma has kind of advanced so far in, the push for Puma is very accessible. So for Apocalypse to do anything at this point, he needs control of the Zelmaga Tower, make sure that that Puma can never aggress up on him, and then he can actually start utilizing his mobility. But I don't think pushing in to siege tanks is the right decision here, and everything gets crushed. SEVs hold off the line, and look at how fast this evaporates. No units left. All the air is gone. This was by far the worst mistake that Apocalypse could have done in this series, this match.
That was suiciding, and he's not even trying to he's not even trying to save his army. Look at the Vikings, and the Vikings is taking apart the Banshees, and the Medivacs, and Apocalypse is just standing there taking it. Puma is smacking him in the face with all those Vikings, killing unit after unit, and Apocalypse, he doesn't react at all. He doesn't even try to save his units. This was just a brutal engagement, and you are perfectly right. It was a huge mistake by Apocalypse. He just suicided his army.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but now Puma off of this is going to get a lot of momentum. You can see, I would love him to actually include some SCVs in here to just start repairing up. That's a very, very strong way to, you know, retain everything in this particular army. But here you go again, pushing forward. There are Vikings and Banshees for Apocalypse, but this tech switch is too little too late. Yes, the Banshees will go unopposed over here since the Viking count is quite large, but as soon as a couple Thors pop up for Puma, which are in production right now, no problemo, sir. He's going to smash base. Oh, poor command center needs to lift off. There it goes. Okay,
yeah, and the problem is that we have 2 mining bases now for Apocalypse, while his opponent has 4 of them. So the economy of Puma is just so great. He can definitely just rebuild his army. He's losing a bunch of siege tanks, as you already mentioned, but at the same time we have the missile turrets. They put an end to it, and the Thors are about to pop out. He's building Thors, he's building Vikings, he's getting upgrades. Puma is still ahead with 30 supply, and well, what can Apocalypse actually do? And it looks like he is going to lose his orbital. He's not repairing it.
Uh-oh.
He's losing the orbital. He is really losing the orbital if he's not careful there. He's trying to repair, but it's only 40 hit points left. If he doesn't find SCV to repair it.
Drop a mule! Is enough time? Is enough time? Okay.
Wow. 2 hit points left.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Hellion's going to come back in here. He's not defending it. And it's again back down to just a little bit. Drop a mule! GG, yo. Alright, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Leaves the game and Puma takes the lead for his team. EG is up 1-0 against Quantic after this TVT on bel'shir.
I'm going to analyze this really quick. Apparently, if you're going into a competitive match, suiciding units is not a good way to win a match.
Well,
think about it.
Yeah, I'll try the next time.
Yeah. But that's basically what it was. He suicides Marines and Marauders. I don't know what the thought process there was, but you cannot do that against a mech army. That's just absolute suicide, especially when it's in trench position. All the siege tanks are already set up. It's really, really bad for the bio player. As I said, he should just clamp down on the Xel'Naga tower, utilize his mobility advantage, get the siege tanks out of position. Marines and Marauders will bait a lot of siege tanks over to the natural, and maybe somehow he can swing back his Marines and Marauders. His opponent doesn't know, and then he can go for it. Something like that. Utilize the fact that your Marines and Marauders commit a lot more siege tanks, and they can obviously spread out the Terran very easily, but going straight up, pound for pound, those siege tanks are going to rip you apart if you're going Marines and Marauders.
Yeah, they definitely will, and that's exactly what happened. So we have Apocalypse losing the game, Quantic therefore down 1 match, and well, Puma, he took the game for his team, and now EG is in the comfortable position of being up 1-0.
Yep. So we're going to go into game 2 after this break, ladies and gentlemen. EG versus Team Quantic, going to continue after this.